What's up guys, Jimmy Myrtle here with Myrtle Entertainment, and tonight, it's actually 9:10 over here. I actually have not been back for video stuff in a long time, and I apologize for that. Everything has gotten so busy for me. I have actually gone and started college back up. I started on the 11th, and knowing today, it's just been really crazy. I've completely run out of video ideas. I'm not real sure what to do. So tonight I thought I would continue Virtuality because I have not done that in the longest time. So for those of you who are keeping in touch with this series, I do apologize for abandoning that for a while. But we are back in. We're probably going to get back into doing that a little more frequently. So tonight I'm going to show you how to get what's called Xubuntu. I call it Xubuntu. I think it's called Xubuntu. I'm not really sure what the name is, but this is where it is. I will have a link in the description for you guys. I'm not going to bother changing my wallpaper this time, so sorry. I apologize for that, and I've also got sinus issues, which of course over here it is almost 15 degrees outside, and I have a dog and I have to take her out every now and then, so I'm going to be I'm trying not to get sick, but we shall see. A lot of breath there. So now we're gonna get into Xubuntu. I'm probably gonna try 14.04. I'm not going to do the 15.1, but if you guys would like to see the 15.1, please let me know in the comments below. I will see what I can do with that. So as you guys can see, first of all, I would like to introduce my brand new recording software. I am now using OBS, or as it's called Open Broadcaster Software. Everybody knows it as OBS. This is what it looks like over here on your right, and it's got that weird thing in the middle. So yeah, get out of there. Anyway, so like I said, this is going to be on this is Xubuntu 14.04. I don't have the file yet, so I have to get it. Now I don't know if this is small or large, but we shall see. Oh, it's a torrent. Dang it. That is just terrible, man. Why would you give me torrents? Oh, okay, yeah, I see. Never mind, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't see it before. So you got torrent downloads and mirror downloads. I'm going to choose United States. And it looks like I've got all different kinds. So I'm going to choose the AMD 64 ISO, which is roughly a gigabyte, which isn't that bad. So I'm going to go ahead and get this. And of course I'm going to get this stupid screen that doesn't want to work properly. What are we going to do? I'm just going to save it. I'm not going to bother worrying about how long it's going to take or anything like that. So thanks to my 5G Wi-Fi network, this should take a little bit quicker than excuse me. Thanks to my 5G network, this should be a little bit faster than normal. So I hope you guys are just hanging online at the moment. But yeah, that's going to take a while. And actually, what I'm doing is I'm actually wanting to get my tower computer fixed. If you guys don't know, I have an old E-Machines tower that I used to play with back in 2003, 2004, just when I was a kid. It is so old that the operating system on it is so slow, and the motherboard, it's just not reliable anymore. Everything is just awful. So hopefully, and this is actually something new to me, hopefully if I can get Linux or Xubuntu installed on a virtual machine, then I'll probably get into it on my tower as well. I'll probably set up. I could bring you guys some Linux videos. We'll see. So, looks like this is just about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and get VirtualBox up and running. And here we go. And actually, for those of you who don't know yet, for those of you who use VirtualBox, which is more than likely very few of you, VirtualBox has completely updated their program. I have not had the chance to update it just yet, but yeah, this is my Xubuntu here. I'm gonna open this up and find it. I'm going to cut it, put it in my disk images, and put it right there, and hopefully this will work just fine. So I'll have a link for that in the description for you guys if you guys would like to try this out for yourself and follow along. So, like the last video on Virtuality that I did, which was so long ago, you have to click New to get the machine up and running. And I apologize if you hear any kind of like microphone noise or anything like that. But this is going to be Xubuntu, the Xubuntu version, which in here it is not listed. It's exactly like Ubuntu. It's just not. It's just completely. I wouldn't say slower, but it's just a smaller version of it basically. So to get started, excuse me. To get started, you have to give it a name. For those of you who don't know or have never used this before, you have to give your machine a name and you have to define what type it is. So for this example, this is a Linux system, and in the last episode of this series, it was a Windows system. And for this, I'm just going to say other Linux. You can say Ubuntu if you want. I actually have the actual Ubuntu system over here already, but I'm going to say other Linux just in case. And I'm going to say next. I always go for the recommended memory size. I really don't change it unless I have to, so I'm going to stick with 512. The recommended disk size is 8 gigabytes. I'm probably not going to give it that much. I'm probably going to give it a little more. I'm going to say it's going to be roughly let's give it 50. That's a pretty small size. Okay, so now we have the actual system here. So if we start the virtual machine, nothing's gonna happen. This is for those of you who are tech geeks like I am. This part of the stage is where you've made your first computer, but you go to turn the power button on and nothing happens. And the reason is because you don't have an operating system on your hard drive. So this is what you gotta do. You have to install the operating system within the virtual machine. That's why they make these things. So to do this, you have to go to Settings, which is next to that new button that I clicked before. And I'm sorry if this is a little slower than usual. Basic. This is basically the information that you gave earlier: the name, the type, and the version. Then you have snapshots, a description if you want, and certain encryptions. I don't worry about any of that other stuff. I just keep it where it is and go to System. Boot order, you want to uncheck floppy and move it all the way down to the bottom and put hard disk at the top, because nobody uses floppy anymore. I mean, nobody. Chipset, keep that where it is, and extended features, we don't need to enable EFI. Processor, I have 2 core CPUs, but I'm just going to keep it at 1 right now, because that's all it needs. And acceleration and processor, don't worry about those either. So now we're going to go to display. Video memory, I always put up to 128 megabytes, just for the heck of it. This was actually at 12 megabytes. So that's up to you guys. If you want to keep it at 12 megabytes, then by all means please do so. But I'm going to go to 128 just to be safe. Remote display I do not use, and video capture I do not use. So now we're going to go to storage. Now this is the most important part. If you mess this up, it will not work. So please pay attention. There's an optical drive here that says empty. You're going to click on that, and then you're going to see this little disk over here where it says IDE secondary master. The IDE secondary master is your master hard drive in the virtual machine, so keep that where it is. Keep live CD and DVD unchecked and click this disk. Then it could give you a couple of lists here on what operating systems you can choose. For this, you're going to say choose virtual optical disk file, and we're going to click it. It's going to look for an ISO, DMG, or CDR, and these are ISOs or virtual systems. I'm going to get the Xubuntu 14.04, and we're going to load it in here. Now that's done, and then you're done with that stage. Audio you want on, network, keep it where it is. Serial port you can leave alone. USB, keep that where it is. Share folders and user interface, you can keep all that where it is. And if you guys see any error messages, it could be that you've changed your system settings in some weird way. So I can push this all the way down. Yeah, if you see this invalid settings detected, it's probably because you don't have much of I'm sorry. It's I lose my words. If you guys have the invalid settings detected, that usually means that you don't have a certain setting right or something like that. I'm not really sure. So we're going to click OK, and that's going to finish everything up. Now it's all about getting the system installed and going through the operating system installation, which is what I'm going to go through right now, and then we'll call it a night, or call it a video. So now, since you got everything, you're going to click Start. Now please be patient because my computer is a little slower. I am doing this off of a laptop instead of a desktop, which is bad for my computer, but who cares? Okay, so I'm going to minimize this, and as you guys can tell, it looks like it is loading. Now I'm gonna try and put this in full screen mode. If this doesn't work and you guys lose stuff, hopefully this screen will get bigger. If it doesn't, I'm sorry about that. So now it's loading Xubuntu 14.04, and then you'll get these big you'll get these messages from time to time. It says the virtual machine reports that the guest OS supports mouse pointer integration. This means you do not need to capture the mouse pointer to be able to use it in your guest OS. All mouse actions you perform in the mouse pointers over the virtual machine display are directly sent to the guest OS. Blah 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 blah. We're gonna say don't show this message again because I don't want to. Now comes the fun part. You get to put it on the system. Now here's the big thing about Linux. It's free. So if you're wanting to switch an operating system, Windows, Mac, Linux, pretty much anything. If you're wanting to switch an operating system, like for example, let's say you have Windows, okay? If you were to switch from Windows, please go to Linux. I mean, again, it's your choice. I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do, but if you guys are wanting to switch operating systems, I would definitely give Linux a try because Linux is free to use. You don't have to pay for anything or hardly anything because this is all open source. So that's pretty much it. So when you first load the Xubuntu image, you're prompted with two little messages here. It says welcome. try Ubuntu or install Xubuntu. I'm going to say install. Now it does say you can try Xubuntu without making any changes to your computer. I would definitely install nonetheless. So I'm going to say install. And again, this is just something that I want to do. Okay, now it says preparing to install. For best results, please ensure that this computer has at least 5.9 gigabytes available drive space, plugged into a power source, and connected to the internet. You could download updates while installing or install third-party software. I can go ahead and do third-party software mainly because it's free and it comes with it. It says Xubuntu uses third-party software to play Flash, MP3, and other media, and to work with some graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. Some of this software is proprietary. The software is subject to license terms included within its documentation. So it is subject to license terms, but it comes with it, so just go ahead and take it. Download updates. I'm not really worried about those. That's optional if you guys want to try that. But in this case, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to say continue. And then, of course, you have to go and set everything up, your username, password, and all that stuff. So again, I apologize if my computer is being extremely slow, but I can't help that. Like I said, I'm running from a laptop, so hopefully this is going to be a little bit of a speedy process. I don't know. We'll see. Ugh. Okay, so I'm back now. It looks like it took a while. I'm sorry about that wait. But here we are. It says installation type. This computer currently has no detected operating systems. What would you like to do? It says erase disk and install Xubuntu. This will delete any files on the disk. I would definitely back up anything important that you want before you do this, because this is going to remove everything, all the programs, the old operating system, files, settings, everything gone. So before you do this, please know what you're doing. If you don't want to erase the disk, then you can do something else. You could do like a dual partition if you'd like, if you set it up that way. In my case, I'm going to say install now. And this part is going to take a long time. Again, I apologize if this is taking a while. Okay, well, first of all, it's going to ask you where the heck you are. Where are you? Well, I'm not in New York, but I'm pretty darn close. I'm actually in North Carolina. But this is probably talking about time zones, so I'm going to say New York and just say continue. So, okay, here we go. Now it says keyboard layout, English. So I'm just gonna type in my intro. What's up, guys? Jeremy Myrtle here with Myrtle Entertainment. Looks like it works just fine. Alright, so now I'm gonna say continue, because the keyboard works just fine. And now it's going to ask you who the heck you are. So my name, I'm just going to put in my name. Jeremy Myrtle. Now it's going to give me a computer name. And it just says Jeremy-VirtualBox. I'm going to say Jeremy-MEVM. Myrtle Entertainment Virtual Machine. Gonna start, yeah. Now it says pick a username. I'm just going to do, it must start with lowercase letter. Alright, I'm just going to do Spy Turbo because I love that name. Choose a password. Now, you do have to choose a random password. But luckily, with Linux, you can actually choose to require your password to log in, or you can log in automatically. It just depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to put in my password. Now that is obviously a weak password, so I want to choose something a little stronger. Excuse me while I fix that. Now lock is going to be on. There we go. Alright, so now everything works. I'm going to say require my password to log in. If you click login automatically, then obviously it will automatically log you in. You will not have to have your password ready. But I'm going to say require password to log in and say continue. Now comes the fun part. It's time to wait again. Because now it's going to copy all the files and stuff. Now here it gives you what Xubuntu already is. Congratulations, you've chosen to install Xubuntu 14.04. If you're running this installation via the Try Xubuntu option, feel free to examine things as Xubuntu installs. After the installation, the desktop will look similar to how it does now. Well, for me, there's no desktop yet. So obviously, if you don't know what Xubuntu is, this basically gives you an exact definition of what it is. Ubuntu is the name of the system, or Linux calls it a distro. So Ubuntu is the name of the distro that Linux has. So for example, you have Ubuntu, Fedora, Mint, Red Hat, and a couple of, just several other things. But Xubuntu is Ubuntu, which, if you guys don't know what that is, I'll have a picture on screen, and that picture there is Ubuntu. Xubuntu is the same thing. It's just, if you guys saw the start bar on the left side, it's now on the bottom. So it looks a lot like Windows, or the GUI, which is a graphic user interface. That's what it stands for. That is the user interface, basically. So that's it for that. And now, throughout installation, it's going to give you a whole bunch of tips how you can keep track of your applications. Search your applications from within the menu and get them displayed as a favorites list. Reorder, remove, and add other entries just by right-clicking on an application result when browsing or searching. If favorites just doesn't do it for you, switch to the recently used view and get a list of the 10 most recent applications you've opened. So this is sort of like this is sort of like Windows, like I said earlier. Personalize the login greeter with an image of your choosing and add user details to profile with mugshot. Oh joy, sounds like I'm in jail. Your profile information will automatically be picked up by support applications like Pigeon and LibreOffice. Configure the menu just the way you want it with the Menu Libre menu editor. Add, remove, or reorder menu items. Customize launcher behavior with advanced settings. So, for those of you who don't know what LibreOffice is Microsoft Office for Linux. It's just, it looks different, it kind of feels different, different layouts, different tools, various other things. So this is all Linux here. Make the desktop your own. Your desktop background is easy to customize, and we're providing you with a selection of beautiful wallpapers. I hope you are. One of those crappy ones. Choose one of the 5 winners of our community wallpaper contest, handpicked for you. Colorize according to your taste. With the newly created theme configuration tool, you can easily fine-tune the looks of some core aspects of the desktop. Cool. And of course this, I can't click. Oh yeah, I can. Sweet. Alright. Then after that, it's ready to go. Here's a brief list of some applications that are pre-installed with Xubuntu for your convenience. Find them in the menu on the left top corner of your screen. You can install more through the Ubuntu Software Center. As far as internet, you have Firefox coming with this, which is fantastic. Thunderbird, mail, and news client. don't worry about using that. You don't have to use if you don't want to. It just comes with. Pigeon is an internet messenger. I'm probably never ever gonna use that. AbiWord is a word processor. GNumeric is a spreadsheet editor. And then, of course, you've got LibreOffice on here, too. At least you should. Mia G Music Browser is a music collection software. And Parole, which is a media player. System and Settings. Hey, I was reading that, dude. Come on. There we go. System and Settings, Ubuntu Software Center, and the Settings Manager. Now, the Ubuntu Software Center is kind of like the Windows Store, if you guys have ever heard of that. So, the Ubuntu Software Center is where you get all your apps and stuff that you want to use, that you want to download for your system. That's pretty much it. So, help and support. The official documentation that covers many of the most common errors and questions about Xubuntu is shipped with every Xubuntu release. Find it by clicking on Help on the main menu. The documentation is also available online at docs.xubuntu.org. And blah 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 blah. Thank you. We'd love to hear about your experiences with Xubuntu. You can share them on the Xubuntu user mailing list. In the meantime, thanks for taking the time to install Xubuntu with us. It will always come without fees. Feel free to pass your installation media and let others try Xubuntu as well. Thank you so much. Alright. So, as that thing just says, you guys can read it for yourself, Xubuntu will always come without fees, meaning you don't have to pay for anything. So get Linux because it's free. Yay! Yeah, like I said, Linux is free, is completely free. I've actually heard that you can make your own Linux distro. That I have no idea how to do, but hopefully I can do some research and make a tutorial for you guys based upon all my tech experience, which I have a lot of. I don't mean to brag, but alright, so now it's just taking the time to prepare all the applications and finalize some installation stuff. That's pretty much all. I think there was somewhere in here there was like yeah, here we go. It says welcome to Ubuntu, blah blah blah. Okay. And it says right here on the desktop you will see icons that can be used to access some of the most common places on your system. In addition, you will see a single multi-purpose panel at the top of the screen. Excuse me. Like I said, I have sinus and allergy problems, so I'm sorry about that. On the left hand side you will see a Xubuntu logo. Click it to open the main menu. We will tell you more about this menu in the next slide. The middle part of the panel is dedicated to window buttons for opening applications, like Windows. On the far right, you will see indicators and the clock. Click the clock to see the monthly calendar. Just like Windows. So now it's going to configure all the hardware and everything. I'm just going to click through all this because I already read all that. Okay. Man, that took a while. So now it's just going to configure all the hardware, probably finalize a bit, your installation a little bit. I really do apologize this is taking so long. I'm just sitting here trying to install installation right now. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. So, yeah. I guess I'll just sit and wait. I'll probably come back when this thing is done. This kind of stuff is a little bit time consuming, so I'll be right back when this is done, and I will see you guys in a few minutes. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for waiting. I really do apologize for that. That took for freaking ever. But here we go. It says installation is complete. You need to restart the computer now in order to use the new installation. So I'm going to say restart. Now keep in mind, this isn't really going to restart your computer. All this is going to do is just restart your system. So, oh my gosh, my allergies are crazy. Alright. Please remove installation media, close tray pane, then press enter. Alright, I don't remember seeing that. Okay. I actually don't have any installation media in here except for the ISO, which is something that I need. So let's see what happens here. Here we go. Looks like it's working now. There we go. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it for the I'm gonna get out of full screen. I'm gonna get rid of this full screen view here. There we go. Alright guys, so that is it for the Linux. Sorry about that. Like I said, this is basically it for the Xubuntu installation. Oops. I want to log in as me, and I want to have my numlock on, please. Let's say login. And now this part of the whole process, it'll probably take a while. I really do apologize for this being so really small. Of those of you who can't really see that well, I do apologize for that. So this is actually at the top of the screen. I don't know why, but yeah. So this is Xubuntu here. You're gonna click this little button, and here is your little menu. You have a terminal here, the Ubuntu Software Center, the music browser that I was telling you about during the installation, and then you got internet stuff, multimedia, just a whole bunch of things. Trash, or as we call it, the recycle bin in Windows. Your file system, this is your file manager or your directory. This is your home folder. You can have like all kinds of documents and stuff in there. Templates, desktop things, and just all kinds of stuff. And then your home folder, which is just your personal folder again. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm going to shut the system down from here. And this is the shutdown screen, and as you guys can see, it has now stopped. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'm sorry about this long wait that I've had about these videos, and I'm sorry about the wait for this system. It took me so long to get this thing loaded. I'm probably going to show you guys how to do Mavericks if I can remember how to do it. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to work either, but hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Virtuality. I will definitely be coming back with a little bit more computer stuff here and there. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.